Hello, everyone. A very good morning to you all and a warm welcome. I am Ranak Tanna. I'm the current president of the Indian Students Association at Arizona State University. To start things off, I would like to congratulate you all on receiving your admits to ASU and deciding to come here, of course. It's a wonderful place to be, and we are very excited to welcome every one of you. This live stream is going to focus on multiple topics that we feel you should know about before you land here, and we hope that we are of help to you in this transition process. To talk a little bit about us, we at the Indian Students Association cater to the entire Indian community at ASU. That's about 2,500 students. We organize various events throughout the year that have cultural and professional significance. Our cultural events include India Day, which is the Independence Day celebrations, Republic Day, Holi, and our annual culture fest, Jankar. We also have professional events that help you through your career, like alumni mixers. One of the biggest things that we try to do here at ISA is to make you feel at home away from home. We take great pride in doing this because nobody really pays us to do any of this. We do this because when we needed somebody to help us through this transition process, it was ISA that was there for us. And right now, we're just carrying the torch and doing the same thing for you guys. Hopefully, next year, when one of you is going to be sitting here and presenting as one of the panel presentations, you will realize how awesome it feels how truly awesome this feels to do all of this. With that said, I want to talk a one-liner on the format of how the session is going to go. For the first 1 hour or so, we are going to do panel presentations on individual topics. And at the last half an hour, we are going to cover the Q&A that will be going on via the live chat window. We also had a Google form rolled out for you guys where we tried to answer as many questions as we could from the panel presentations, but please feel free to shoot in any questions that you may have in the live comment section to the right of this YouTube video. And again, we're just humans, so please understand that if we cannot cover any question, you can always reach out to us at official@isasu.com or any of the social media links that will be put up in the description of the video. With that said, we will begin our panel presentations. Like I mentioned before, I am Ranak Tanna. I'm the current president of the Indian Students Association at Arizona State University. I'm doing my master's in computer science.
Hello everyone, I'm Vivek Ranjan Panigrahi. I'm the Joint Secretary of Indian Students Association and I'm currently pursuing my PhD in computer science.
Hi guys, I'm Ganga Ramesh. I am doing my master's in electrical engineering at ASU. I'm the joint director for administration for ASU, ISA, and I'm excited to have you all here.
Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to the Sun Devil family. I am Ramya, the graduate student ambassador at ISA. I'm currently pursuing a master's in electrical engineering.
Hello everyone, I'm Srikar Tumala. I'm the current Vice President of Indian Students Association at Arizona State University. Congratulations on your admits to ASU. I'm currently pursuing my master's in industrial engineering and I hope to see all of you here really soon.
Hello everyone, I am Sai Krishna. I am pursuing my master's in electrical engineering and I am the part of the marketing team at ISA.
Hi everyone, this is Deepika. I am the treasurer of ISA. I'm currently doing my master's in electrical engineering. Welcome to ASU.
Hey all, I'm Aditya. I'm the joint director of finance at ASU. At ISA, currently pursuing my master's in electrical engineering. Welcome to ASU.
Hello everyone, I am Varun Agrawal. I am the Director of Administration and I am pursuing my Master of Science in Mechanical Engineering. Welcome to ASU.
Hello everyone, I am Rajat Bansal. I am also a member of ISA. I am pursuing Masters in Industrial Engineering. Welcome to ASU.
Hi everyone, this is Deepan Karthik. I'm the Joint Director of Outreach. I'm pursuing Masters in Computer Science. Welcome to ASU.
Hello everyone, how's it going? My name is Akshay. I'm an alumni of ASU. I'm a postgraduate in computer science. I'm from Kerala, India. So if there is any Malus right now, Nalla Namaskaram. And congrats on your admits to ASU, and hope to see you all here.
Hey guys, this is Shenbag Raj. I'm the current doctoral ambassador of Indian Students Association, and I'm doing my PhD in mechanical engineering. And yeah, congratulations on admit to ASU. Hope to see you guys here. Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm Bharat Goyal. I'm currently Director of Design at ASU, and welcome to our family.
Hello everyone, this is Venkatakhil. I'm the ex-president of ISA. I just graduated from ASU with a master's degree in software engineering. Congratulations everyone on getting an admit to ASU and choosing to come here. Looking forward to talking with you guys.
Hi everyone, my name is Simran Singh. I'm Joint Director of Marketing at ISA. I'm currently pursuing Masters in Computer Science. And welcome to ASU. Thank you.
On that note of panel introductions, we also have Jake and Christy, who are representing our housing partners 1255. Hello, Jake and Christy.
Hello. Great to be with you.
Awesome. Sorry, I think I was on mute. Yeah, so now that the panel introductions are done, I want to mention an important person who couldn't join us today. He's Andrew Ross. He works at the International Students and Scholars Center, and he's also our advisor. He has recorded a video message for you guys, and I will let you guys listen to him in his own words.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. My name is Drew Ross, and I'm an assistant director here in the International Students and Scholars Center at Arizona State University. I hope I can be one of the first to say that we are so excited you are joining us here in Arizona this coming fall to start your studies with us here. We hope you're excited to join the diverse community that we have here at ASU, with almost 10,000 international students representing 135 different countries. In addition to my role in the ISSC, I also serve as the staff advisor for the Indian Students Association. I am so pleased that I'll get to work with you all in the coming years ahead. I just wanted to say a couple things about the ISSC. The ISSC will work to support you through your immigration compliance regulations, and additionally, we'll also provide career professional development workshops and academic support as well. So if you have any questions about your time here at ASU, please make sure that you stop by the ISSC, and we'll support you as best as we can. I also work with the ISSA in order to prepare some events, and last year we did something really unique. We hosted 2 Indian student alumni mixers, where we had the opportunity to bring local alumni that are still here in the Phoenix area to come meet with students and talk about their experiences transitioning from being a student at ASU to working in the workforce here in the Phoenix area. So hopefully we'll do those events again this year, and you'll be able to join us. One thing I just wanted to mention regarding job applications. I know many of you will be arriving on campus and will start the search for an on-campus job. Just a small tip. Please make sure that you customize every resume and cover letter for each job that you are applying for. I understand that many of you will be coming to ASU with a wealth of experience, previous jobs, technical skills, and those are great for your future studies. But remember, when you're applying for jobs on campus, sometimes you're going to need to talk about other skills that you may have. Were you involved in student organizations during your undergraduate career? Have you volunteered? Have you been in leadership roles? Those are the kinds of things that we want to hear about when we're looking to hire student workers in a variety of office settings here at ASU. So good luck. Lastly, I just want to make sure that you remember to attend our International Student Orientation, which will be on August 15th and 16th. If you haven't received an email about this yet, you will do so in the coming weeks ahead. Safe travels. Look forward to meeting you in August. Take care.
Thank you so much for that, Andrew Ross. He's our advisor, and I hope that now all of you know where to go to for any immigration-related questions that you may have. We missed out on one panel introduction. I just want to say a quick hi to Imran, who is joining in for our partners from Prodigy Finance. Hi, Imran. How you doing?
Hi all, Imran here from Prodigy Finance. I'm excited to be able to speak with you guys tonight about our offering as a financing option for your guys' student loans. I'm really looking forward to taking a second and sharing with you guys what we can offer you. Thanks.
Thank you, Imran. So now that the introductions are done and we have played the video from Drew Ross, we can start off with the panel presentations. We will begin with pickups and temporary accommodation, which will be covered by Vivek and Ganga. So off to them.
Hey guys, so this is Ganga again. I'm going to be talking about the temporary accommodation and pickups that ASU and ISA are going to be providing you guys with. So the first one is the pickups. This service is provided by ASU. How ISA fits into this is ISA volunteers will be there in the airport to help you guys navigate through the airport and get to the shuttle buses. They are not going to be helping you load your luggages or actually take you to the place where you're going to be staying. So let me just start by sharing my screen for a second here. All right, so this procedure is really simple. Please go to isa-asu.org, as you can see here. And on the prospective students tab, you can see the option pickup. If you click on this, it will take you to this page, which has 4 steps for you. The first step is the guidelines document. This is a document for you. This is a very simple document that talks about ASU's policies for pickup and temporary accommodation. We highly recommend that you check this out before you book these services from us. The second step is to book yourselves a fall orientation spot. So by clicking on step 2 here, it will take you to this page. You can reserve yourself a fall orientation spot. The third step is to book using this link. So basically with your I-20 documents that come to your house through mail, you'll also get a super shuttle booklet on which there will be a confirmation code. Using this code, please book yourselves a super shuttle ride. This is in affiliation with ASU. So, but a side note here is if you're going to be availing ISA's temporary accommodation services, please do not book your ride no sooner than 24 hours because we need some time to send you out the address for your temporary accommodation. So please wait for that mail from us before you book your ride. The final step in this process is to fill out this Google form right here. It is a simple Google form that asks very basic questions about when you're going to be here and at what time here in Tempe. This way we can actually allocate an address and a ride for you guys. So now I'm going to be giving the screen to Vivek. He's going to be talking about temporary accommodation. Thank you.
Hey guys, this is Vivek again. So I will be taking you guys through temporary accommodation, which is offered by ISA. Let's share my screen. Here we go. So ISA offers temporary accommodation on a voluntary basis to incoming fall 19 students from July 28th to August 15th. And this is ISA's policy that we are not going to be extending your temporary accommodation for more than 3 days. So please do keep that in mind. And another thing to note down would probably be that this service, this temporary accommodation, is being done on a voluntary basis, and people who will be giving this temporary accommodation are current ASU students. So please do maintain a decorum at their place. So they'll just be giving you a roof to live under. We do not guarantee you food or a bed to sleep on. So just make sure that you don't create a ruckus in their place. Just maintain basic decorum. And you can see two Facebook groups over here: ASU Free and For Sale and ASU Sublease Roommates, which will, if you haven't gotten your housing sorted out, please do go onto these Facebook pages, which will help you in finding roommates or finding a sublease house at a much cheaper rate than signing a new lease. And to reiterate on Ganga's point, if any student is availing ISA's temporary pickup and accommodation thing, please do not book your super shuttle rides until we send you an email. ISA sends you an email outlining your temporary accommodation details. That will be sent to you 24 hours before the date of your departure from India. I hope that's clear, and that's all for me. Go Devils.
Thank you for that, Vivek and Ganga. To reiterate a very important point that they made, the pickups and temporary accommodations both are done completely by amazing volunteers who are generous enough to do this. Please do not have luxurious expectations when it comes to temporary accommodation. All we can guarantee you is a roof to stay under for a maximum of 3 days. It is also important that you know that we cannot negotiate for the number of days, as we have to accommodate every other person and not just you. Moving on to the next topic for today, we'll be talking about everything that you'll have to do with respect to the International Students and Scholars Center. That presentation will be given by Ramya. So off to her.
Thank you, Ronak. Hi again, I'm Ramya. So I'll be talking about a few things that you'll have to do related to ISSC. So first of all, once you arrive at ASU, you will have to do a mandatory CVIS check-in, and you will be reporting your arrival through an e-form. That's an online ISSC e-form, and not in person at ISSC. You will need a few documents for your CVIS check-in. That would be your ASU I-20 or DS 2019, your passport, your F1 or J1 visa, and your electronic I-94. So you can just Google it online, and the very first link will lead you to this particular website wherein you can get your I-94. So you will be clicking on get most recent I-94, and there are a few fields which you will have to click on, and you will be able to get your I-94. So this is how the ISSC e-form looks like for CVIS check-in, and you will be completing this particular e-form and you will submit it. Once you submit your e-form, you will get an email from ISSC once your I-20 is ready. So this particular I-20 will be your continued attendance I-20, which you can use for travel at a later point. I would also like to mention a point. So we have heard from current students and a few past students as well that they have received calls stating that the government, or I mean, there is some issue related to their immigration. So I just want to mention that please do not entertain any such calls, because if there is anything that the government wants to communicate to you, it will be via a physical mail. So it will be through a letter. So if you get any calls stating that they're from the government, or they ask you to pay anything like that, please do not entertain such calls, and make sure that you do not disclose any of your personal information to them. because it is likely to be a scam call. There will also be a priority task under in my ASU, so it would be related to your degree certificate. So I request you to kindly submit a copy of your degree certificate at the registrar's office and not the ISSC. In case you have any other query regarding your service check-in, please do log into issc.asu.edu. You will get all your queries answered. Or in case you have more queries, you can also contact ISSC directly. Off to you, Ronak. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramya, for that great presentation. On a related note for scammers, uh, we uh, we might also have a case where people might scam you in ISA's name. So please make sure that it's coming in from one of ISA's official channels. We will have a link for every single official channel that we have for ISA put up in the description of the video soon after this event gets over. So moving on to the next topic, we'll be talking about things to do after arriving in Tempe by Shrikar. So after him.
Hello everyone, I'm back again. Today I'm going to be talking to you about things to do after arriving in Tempe. I'm going to share a small presentation with you. Give me a second. So the first thing that you would need to do after coming to the US or reaching ASU would be finishing your service check-in. As my colleague Ramya just talked about it, it is one very important thing that you would need to do if you like to continue your F1 after reaching here. To get the you need to get the I-94 to complete that, and I-94 is only available after you have successfully completed your immigration in one of the US airports. Going to the next topic, you would need to get a student ID card after coming here. For getting a student ID card, you would need to upload your photo in the link that ASU sends you via an email, or you can go to the card services building in the basement of Memorial Union and get your picture clicked there. Memorial Union is the most famous building in Tempe campus of ASU, you can say. And in the basement of that building is the card services office, where you can get your photo clicked for your student ID card. And irrespective of if you gave your photo through that link or you got it clicked right in the office, you will still collect your ID card there. And there are two types of ID cards. One is the basic Sun card, which acts as an ID card, and the other one is the Pitchfork card, which works as an ID card and a debit card together. Either of them would cost you $25. You can pay them right away with a debit card or credit card, or you can put it in your student account. Next important thing to keep in mind is to register for the Indian Students Breakfast on 16th of August. Make sure that you attend this orientation, because you would get a chance to meet a lot of Indian students that have joined with you this fall. It would be a great networking opportunity for you, and it would also we also have a great fun breakfast for you. You can also meet a lot of officials from ASU. They would welcome you there along with us from the Indian Students Association. Also register for all the orientation events and attend them, as you would get flooded by lots of important information and useful information. The orientation has lunches and lots of free giveaways. It is one great networking event, as I said, and I cannot stress enough on networking, as that would be the most important thing to do once you reach the US. And other thing that I would want to stress on is roam around campus in the first week that you're here in Tempe. Look out for hotspots like Hayden Library, Noble Library, Memorial Union, Sunderville Fitness Center, and Brickyard if you're from Sidzi. Finally, in this topic, I would like to tell you to keep in contact with various student organizations. We will always be there to help you out, but look out for different organizations that you want to get involved in. The next thing you would need to do is get your bank account set up and get a mobile network to your phone. Going to banks, we have Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, MidFirst Bank, right really close to the Tempe campus. When you're going to open an account in a bank, try and get a checking account and not a savings account, as the recent trend has shown that checking account has more offers linked to it than a savings account. Various banks have their own different sorts of offers for students, and in general, please look into whichever offer suits you best and get an account in that bank. Going to mobile networks, we have Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, Leica, and Sprint. You can choose any of them. They're all really good and decent. When you're looking at getting a mobile network setup, try and get a family plan, as this would drastically reduce the end price that you will pay. Family plans are nothing but getting many accounts, getting many SIM cards under a single account holder. The next thing that I want to talk about here is insurance. ASU has an official health insurance partnership with Aetna, and all incoming students to ASU and all current students at ASU are expected to take that insurance, and it is a part of your fees, actually speaking. So if you plan on buying an insurance from some other place, please don't do it, as you will definitely have to buy this one. Lastly, I would like to talk about loans. Getting loans in the US if you are interested in getting one. US banks provide loans for very cheap interest rates compared to Indian banks. You can get them for mostly around 4 to 10%, around on an average of 7%. To avail these loans, you might need to have a co-signer from USA who has a good credit history. And that would bring me to the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Shrikar, for that great presentation. As a follow-up to Shrikar's last slide, being aware about getting a loan from the US is a very important thing. So on that note, our friend from Prodigy Finance, Imran, is here to talk about the services that they offer. I'll hand over the screen space over to Imran and let him take it from here.
Hey Ronak, thanks for the great introduction. I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen here so we can get this going. Again, my name is Imran. I'm here from Prodigy Finance, and I'll be presenting about my company tonight. We offer a modern solution for student loan financing. A little bit of information about my company, as many of you students and admits are going through the process of securing your funding. I think it's very important for us to take the opportunity and just be aware of all our options and make sure that whatever loan we're securing, we're making the right decision and the best decision. Prodigy Finance was born from the idea of offering fair and transparent student lending that views students for their potential and not just numbers on a spreadsheet. Taking a look at this slide, we're a global company with offices in London, Cape Town, and my personal office in New York. Our global presence allows us to offer loans to over 15,000 students. As you can see, we've lended to over 100 students at ASU thus far since we started supporting you guys. At Prodigy Finance, we've focused our loan and our loan application model on reducing the highest stress points for students like yourselves. In India, we recognize the serious burden that a lot of students have, and the burden that these loans put on the borrower, which is why I'm extremely happy to share that at Prodigy, we actually require no cosigner and no collateral in our loans. And that may be a huge difference to what you guys are currently looking at and what you're currently being offered. Risking collateral and finding a cosigner can often be an extremely tough process. The responsibility and burden shouldn't unnecessarily fall on your family and friends. Being created and founded by international graduate students ourselves, we know the stress, and that's why we don't require these things. Another part of the process we've identified as an issue and high stress point for applicants is the duration of the application process. So that's why another thing I'm extremely happy to share with you guys is how our loan process works. We've developed a streamlined application, something you will not get at your local lender. What that means is in just 30 minutes, you can receive a commitment-free quote, and that's all it takes. It's very easy, it's risk-free, there's no fee to do it, and it could potentially be an offer that beats the one that you're currently getting. And all our loans that we offer, again, require no cosigner and no collateral. Another point I'd like to highlight is those of you who are still going through your visa process, our turnaround time is less than 2 weeks, and it takes no fees to get there once you do receive that commitment-free offer. And it's a huge benefit for those who haven't been able to secure a loan sanction letter or anything like that for their visa interviews as time gets very close to the start of fall. Another point that I'd really like to highlight here is that we take care of the disbursement process for you. What you'll notice is in our whole application and our whole loan process, we actually only have one transparent fee up front, and that's the 2.5% admin fee, which means we don't have any transaction fees, any disbursement fees. You don't need to go to any banks to handle any wire transfers. It is purely on us. We deal directly with the school and then directly with you and handle all the financial details in getting your loan and your funding for your education abroad. And dealing with these high value wire transfers from India to the US, from the US to your school can be pretty stressful. And what we've done here is been able to streamline that whole process across the board and make it easier for you as the student. You don't know this yet, but speak to some seniors about the process. And I think you'll find that those who have had to take their loans from India and INR, then transfer it to the US dollar, and then pay their school, realize it's a cumbersome and long process, and one that you don't want to be dealing with while trying to figure out your classes and honestly everything else that comes with doing your master's program abroad. It's the last thing you need to be worrying about, and it's the last thing we want you to worry about. So if we can handle it, we will. And then finally, highlighting towards the end of this the end of the loan process is repayments. So repayments for us starts 6 months after classes end, and there's no required payments before this. There's no charges before this, and there are no fees before this. Only until 6 months after you graduate is the first time we will ever expect a penny from you as a borrower. Unlike any banks and other lenders actually in India, which may require interest payments even before that 6-month grace period. Now, speaking of these other banks and non-banking financial companies, I thought it would be important to highlight the differences between our offerings and what they're offering. Again, I find it extremely important and something that is really very much so an attractive offer that we can do is the fact that we don't require cosigner or collateral. Even if you are in the process of securing your bank loan, I would highly, highly recommend you, and I think to speak to anybody who is familiar with the loan process, to just throw an application in. It's only 30 minutes, and you can find potentially a better offer than you're already getting with your current lender. The first thing I want to flag is that all education loans for international students are variable. So as you see across the board, the interest rates are variable. So here at Prodigy Finance, depending on what school you're in, whether it's the business school or the engineering school, you may get a rate in between 9.68 and 11.09%, and that's variable by 3-month LIBOR, which we've transparently put there. If you are taking a loan from elsewhere, I think it's extremely important for you as a student to find out what your loan is variable upon. These can be inconsistent and change at any time. So it's really important to understand the variability of your interest rate if it is variable. And a lot of the times, your local lender isn't quite as transparent as you'd like when looking at these. Now, if you look at the additional costs, the fees. So like I spoke a little bit about briefly earlier, was the fact that we only charge 2.5% admin fee upfront, and that's it. Now, if you take a loan from a local bank, you may be charged insurance fees, transaction fees, administrative fees, sanction fees, and conversion fees, and all the above. Unfortunately, this is the thing that is really, really prevalent in the industry, where the interest rates you're getting upfront from the banks simply aren't showing you all these nickel and dime fees that you're getting. And they can severely impact your interest rate. And I would highly advise all of you who do or are in the process of taking loans with your local lenders, try to calculate the APR with these fees included, and it would give you a much better sense of how much actually you end up paying. Another thing I wanted to highlight is the fact that we are borrowing to you, we're lending to you in USD. I know it is something that is different from borrowing in the Indian rupee, but we actually find it's a huge advantage for those who want to stay in the US, and that's for two specific reasons. The first is that financially, it is typically the most viable choice and financially intelligent choice to borrow in the currency that you are going to be paid in. So for those of you who plan on staying in the US for 2 to 3 years minimum after you graduate, it's generally advisable to borrow in US dollar as opposed to Indian rupees. And the second thing is that you're building the US credit history. Now, I know some of the presenters earlier in their presentation touched on briefly about being able to use your US credit history to get a better loan or just achieve the access to all these financial products that we have in the US that that are restricted if you don't have credit history. So borrowing with us builds that credit history and allows you access to those financial products a lot quicker and a lot faster, and it allows you to, you're paying a loan. It should count to build your history, and we make that happen. And yeah, so this and all the above, I think, is really critical. And again, I just want to emphasize the possibility that even if you are currently in even the late stages of negotiation with your current lender, just filling out a quick 30-minute application at this QR code here could change your life. There's no risk, there's no fees. Just take a picture of the QR code and fill out a 30-minute application, and you may be able to change your whole loan process. You may be able to tell your friend who co-signed for you or your family who co-signed for you that they're off the hook. You may be able to say, hey, we don't have to put our house on the line anymore, and relinquish that collateral requirement. And to be able to do that as a company, it makes me really proud, because it does relieve a huge burden from the students. And it's something that, I think almost anybody should take a look at, because the possibilities and the amount of trust and potential we put into the student is reflected in our offers. And every student who takes a loan with us, we make sure that we give them the best service and best care we can, and try and differentiate ourselves across the board. Yeah, I want to thank everybody for coming tonight, and Ronak, thanks for handing it off to me and planning this whole thing. I hope to see you guys create some applications. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Imran, for that. Moving on to the next topic of these panel presentations, we're going to talk about one of the biggest spaces that you will be checking out on a daily basis. Presumably, yeah, a daily basis. It's a portal, MyASU. It will be covered by Sai Krishna. So off to him. Hello guys, I'll be talking about the MyASU portal, which you'll be using the most during your stay at ASU. So off to the MyASU portal. So here you can see the drop-down box, which shows different access to different links in the Google Drive, the My App section, clubs and organizations. So if you click on the My App section, that you directly get redirected to the My Apps page where you can download all the software you need to work on, and also the organizations and clubs where you can this gets directed to that website where you can search on various organizations which are available at ASU. And next, which is the most important thing which I'll be covering, is the priority task. It is very important for you to complete those tasks as soon as possible before coming to ASU or as soon as you land here at Tempe, because if you don't clear your holes on the priority task, you cannot register for your courses. So make sure that you do not have any hold, and if you have, try to work on it as soon as possible. And if you click on the class search, it directly gets redirected to the page where you can directly search for the particular class based on your department and register for those classes. And the next most important thing which I'll be talking about is the iPause, which is right where I've highlighted, which is the interactive plan of study, which is basically a very important thing for the graduate students, which in which you will be telling about the courses which you'll be taking for your entire duration for your masters at ASU, and which will be approved by your academic advisor later. So things related to IPOS will be discussed and explained by your academic advisor during the orientations for the respective departments. The next thing which I'll be explaining about is the campus services. So campus services, there are various resources which are available at ASU. For example, the ASU Health Services, the Counseling Services, the Sun Devil Fitness Complex. Sun Devil Fitness Complex is basically where you have a lot of indoor activities, gym and other things to explore. And then the transportation services and other the technical services. The next thing which I'll be covering is the finances thing, which is the most important, as many people asked how to pay their tuition fees and loans and etc. So when you have this option on the finances tab, which shows the amount which you need to pay for the particular semester, just click on make a payment option, which will directly get redirected to the next page, where which will be redirected to this particular page. Click on view and pay student accounts, which will show you the correct amount which is due, and then you can directly select the amount which you have to pay, for example like $51, and then click on international payment. International payment enables you to pay your fees from India or from the bank from which you have taken loan. Just click on continue, and which will directly get redirected to this page over here, where you need to enter the payer information for the person who is paying. The source of funds, you can choose either loan, or if you're paying by self, just click on that. I'll be focusing on source of funds as loan, and then the name of the person and the PAN number. And the amount which has to be remitted. When you click on this, it will directly get you to the next page, where it will show the amount which is in dollars and the equivalent amount which is in rupees, and which will also show you all the details of the bank account from to which your bank has to transfer the amount to the ASU bank account. So these are the details which you need to give to your bank who will be paying off your tuition fees, and they'll do it for you based on these information which is provided, which is the beneficiary account number, the reference ID and everything. You just need to download this authorization letter along with the instructions and just give it to your bank who will be paying your loan amount or the tuition fees for your particular semester. And then they'll transfer that amount to a particular bank, and that particular bank would transfer the amount to the respective bank here in the US. So that's how the payment for the tuition fees goes. And that's it about the MyASU portal. After you, Ronak. Thanks for an awesome presentation, Sai Krishna. Uh, to talk about the next topic, we've received several questions. It's about on campus housing and off campus housing. I hope you guys find this presentation useful because we've tried to make it as a generalized framework that you guys can follow. So, moving on to the next topic, which is on campus and off campus housing, it'll be covered by Deepika. So, off to her.
Hi everyone. So let's see about housing. Yeah. So when it comes to on-campus housing, ASU provides on-campus housing for all its students. You can find more information about on-campus housing in this link. It's not mandatory that freshmen should stay on campus, but it's highly recommended. All the rooms on campus are air conditioned, and every floor will have a kitchen space. You won't have a kitchen in your room, but you can access the kitchen in the floor. The meal plan is not compulsory, but it's highly recommended. Also, staying on campus is also highly recommended because your residential communities are based on the school you go to. So you will get to network with people that go to the same school, that take the same courses that you do. So, on campus housing is a little bit expensive than off campus, but it sure has its own benefits. Moving on to off campus housing, you can find the apartments near the ASU campus through a basic Google search. There are a few factors to consider before you select an apartment. First thing is the rent. A few apartments has very good amenities like game room, theater, pools, etc. Even if not, you can always use the SDFC on campus. A few apartments give you an option to choose a furnished or unfurnished apartment, and you might have to look for the water and trash charges which are included in your rent. The application fee and security deposit are uh, usually added in your rent. If not, few apartments ask you to pay them separately. Regarding the location and safety, you might have to look for an apartment around the ASU. I'm sorry. Yeah, around the campus. So this is where most of the Indian communities live. So you might have to look for an apartment inside this community. Even if not, look for an apartment near this area. Next, the important thing is the lease tenure. So most apartment communities have discounts or offers if you sign a yearly lease. Check with your office for different lease periods so that you can avail the best deal. Another important thing is that most apartment communities include renters insurance in your rent. If not, you might have to get them from companies like State Farm, Allstate, and few others. You can always ask your leasing manager for the best place to get your renters insurance. Regarding the electricity and internet, some apartments include electricity in the rent, some include internet, and a few include both. Few apartments do not include anything, so in that case, you will have to set up an account for electricity with APS or SRP. For internet, you should have an account with Cox or CenturyLink. Transportation is one of the most important factor to consider for housing. More about this will be discussed in a while. Key thing is to make sure that your apartment is close to the bus service routes, as you would prefer taking the bus during summers and winters, as it's going to be super hot and super cold. So yeah, if you have people that you're going to stay with, you can check out livingasu.com to find various apartments. If you're looking for people to share your apartment, you can look for several Facebook, WhatsApp, and Slack groups. If you have not joined a Slack group yet, this is the link. You can join them. So this is the website which will help you do customized search for the apartments. People who do not have classes people who have classes other than Tempe campus, they usually stay in Tempe and they make use of the inter-campus shuttle. The inter-campus shuttle will take you to the other campuses and it's quite frequent. More about the inter-campus shuttle will be explained to you in a while. So this website will also help you choose an apartment near these campuses. So the page, this is the page from your ISA website. This is the place where you will be going to sign up for the pickup and temporary accommodation. This page has a sheet which will help you connect with people who are looking for roommates. So important thing is that do not share personal information on this sheet because it's going to be available to everyone who visits the page. ISA will not be monitoring them, so please do not share your personal information. So yeah, that's it about housing. Back to Ronak.
Thank you so much, Deepika, for that wonderful presentation. Uh, like I mentioned before, we tried to get all the questions and we tried to take a look at them. Once we started taking a look at them, it felt like they were covering really broad aspects and all of them were separate. So we tried to make this presentation as a generalized framework that you guys can follow, and I hope it was useful to you guys. On a related note of off-campus housing, we have our partners from 1255, Jake and Christy, here to talk about the community and what they can offer for the incoming students. So off to them.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be with you. We're really happy to present 1255 as well as what we have to offer to the students of the ISA. So we'll go ahead and share my screen here. If it will allow me to. There we go. Hopefully you can see that now. We've got a few things that we'd love to present to you as incoming students. We understand how difficult the process can be and how daunting it may seem to be moving from your home and hoping to find a home away from home. And that is what we have developed here at 1255. We are the exclusive partner with the ISA and have done everything with the process and the goal to ensure that your stay with us is truly a home away from home. Our location as well as our prices, we do roommate matching. And so if you don't already have someone that you want to room with, we can take care of that for you. And that's all done on our website. All of our apartments have upgraded appliances in it. You can choose either a furnished or an unfurnished apartment. We also have many amenities that we'll talk about in just a second. And we are also pet friendly at 1255. In order to help you find your home away from home, we've partnered with a number of different organizations to give you ease of access. We have a partnership with T-Mobile. And so when you arrive to Arizona State University and come over to 1255, we will have pre-programmed SIM cards waiting for you. All you'll need to do is bring your cell phone from India with you. You'll swap out your current SIM card with one of our SIM cards from T-Mobile. You will instantly have a US phone number and we'll be able to start using it immediately. Our program with T-Mobile has unlimited data, unlimited talking, and unlimited texting. For $10 extra, you will also get unlimited international calls so that you can call home and talk with your family and friends. On top of T-Mobile, which will be located at 1255 when you arrive, we will also have representatives from Bank of America. They will be on site at the property so that when you arrive, not only can you get your housing accommodations taken care of, you'll also get your cell phone and be ready there with the Bank of America if you choose to sign up and get an American bank account there. We have a number of different floor plans that you can choose from, and the prices start at $315 per month and go all the way up to $825 for the studio apartments. The most popular floor plan is the 2-bedroom shared at $315, and we only have a few number of those left at that price. In fact, we only have 55 apartments remaining to sell at $1,255, and we will be taking those on a first come, first served basis. So we would recommend and suggest that you're not slow as you jump on and sign up. Our apartments have upgraded appliances, faux wood floors, ceiling fans. We have a lot of storage space as well as big closets. We are close to downtown as well as to campus. We have 3 swimming pools, 3 laundry centers, covered parking, clubhouse, as well as large study rooms. On 1255.com on our website, you can go take a virtual tour. As you go there, click on the home page, then click Gallery, and then from there you can click on the virtual tour and see what our amenities look like. Our website is also the location where you will apply online and sign your lease electronically, and you can also pay online as well. The application process is very simple. Once you apply online at 1255.com, one of our representatives will contact you. We have a WhatsApp account, and I will give you that number in just a second so that you can contact us at any time. You can also email us and call us. Once you apply online, you'll be able to complete your application. We will send you over an electronic contract, which you can then fill out as well as e-sign. Once you've signed that contract, we have a small number of fees that you will need to pay. And once you've paid those fees and signed your contract, you will secure a spot to live at 1255. Of the fees that will be required, we have deposits, application fees, administration fees, as well as utilities. The utilities are a flat monthly fee, and those include everything: water, sewage, trash, pest control, electricity. You won't have to worry about going to the electric company or going to get your internet. It is already taken care of for you at 1255. All you have to do is move in. We do monthly events that happen both on and off site at our property. Our goal is to ensure that you have a home away from home. And the majority of our events are put on by the ISA or are sponsored in coordination with the ISA. And our first event that we will be holding will be this upcoming September, right after everyone moves in. Our WhatsApp number is there on the bottom left, 209-457-0897. And we're always online, so feel free to chat us or call us, as well as to visit the website on 1255.com. Again, we've only got a couple of apartments left, only 55 of our 2 bedrooms remain to be sold. So we would definitely encourage you to apply as quick as you can. And our representatives online will take care of you and make sure that that you are set up and that you have a home away from home here at 1255.
Thank you so much, Jake, for that wonderful presentation. Moving on to the next topic, we've crossed the halfway mark. For the next topic, we'll be talking about expenses that you will be administering in Tempe. It'll be talked about by Aditya, so off to him.
Hey everyone, I'm going to give a brief presentation on expenses in Tempe. So once we get here, we tend to convert every dollar to Indian rupees, which I would suggest don't. Even if you do, don't do it for the exact conversion rate. The major expenses in Temi once you arrive would be rent and utilities, Wi-Fi, cellular connection, furniture, travel, groceries, restaurants, and health related. So moving on, rent and utilities. So it is usually around $350 to $450 per person for a 2B2B shared by 4 people. Similarly, for a single room, it is around $500 to $850 for 2B2B shared by 2 people. Wi-Fi and the range on an average is around $30 to $100. It depends on the speed of the internet. Say for 100 Mbps, it is around $60 per month. The major players here are Cox and CenturyLink. Cellular connection, it is usually around $22 and above, depending on the plan chosen. Some of the major players here, as Shrikar said, is T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, and Leica. So furnitures. So it depends entirely on the person, on your requirements actually. Can't give an exact quote, but if you can buy second-hand furniture at cheaper rates, a few links are provided later in the slide. Moving on, we have travel. So usually in Tempe, the major mode of transportation is bicycles. For a new one, you can get it for $80 and above, and also you can get a second-hand bicycles for around $25 and above. The other mode of transportation is Orbit, which is free of cost. I've provided a link for public transit, which is cfo.asu.edu. Moving on, we have groceries. For general groceries such as vegetables, fruits, and stuff, you can get from Food City, Walmart, and Safeway, whichever is closer. For Indian groceries and spices, you have Bath Bazaar, which is close by to campus. You can also have Lotus, which is at cheaper rates comparatively. Now dining out. So we have from pizza to Indian food. Everything is $5 and above, and everything is within campus range. And moving on, we have health related. So health related, any issues with your health, move to ASU Health Resources, where there's a thing called copay. Is a percentage of the final bill which has to be paid by the student himself, which is usually around $15 here. So that's it, I guess. Also, there's a sites to be monitored. There's the ASU list and ASU free and for sale, from which you can get second-hand furnitures and bicycles. There is offer up and let go too. So, thank you, and off to Ronak.
Thank you so much again for Aditya for the presentation. Again, we've tried to keep it as a generalized framework because we received several questions on pricing and your expenses in Tempe. And like my friend Aditya here mentioned, it is a natural thing for us Indians to do the conversion from USD to INR for every single thing that we do. Especially once you land here, you see that a lunch on average costs about $10, and you're like, oh, 10 into 70, it's like 700 rupees. Oh my god, no. Yeah, I'm certain that it happens to everybody. It happened with me. Even all of us are guilty here, but I would recommend not to do that, because as you get used to life here, you get an on-campus job, you're going to realize that you're going to be managing your expenses pretty well. Talking about on-campus jobs, that's going to be our next panel presentation, which will be by Varun and Rajat. So after them.
Hello, everyone. Thanks a lot, Ronak. I'm back again. So I will give you information about the on-campus jobs. So let me share my screen. So yeah, as you are excited to come to ASU and explore the USA, so you may want some financial aid being on campus. So you have an option of the part-time jobs. But before I tell you about the part-time jobs, let me tell you about the part of the part-time jobs you can apply. Like you can apply to 3 types of job. First is through the ASU on-campus MyASU Portal. Second one is the Aramak food services, and third one is the Follett. And I would like to tell you about few rules here. Firstly, you are only eligible to work 20 hours per week during the fall and spring semesters, and up to 40 hours per week during the winter and summer break. So that makes an average of 25 hours per week for the entire year, and that's the limiting work limit of as per the USA government. So, and you are not eligible to work off campus during the first academic year. You can only work off campus like on internship and co after the first year, which will be on CPT and OPT, uh, and it will be covered later in the internship session. So now coming to the ASU on-campus jobs. Yeah, you need to log into MyASU for the for the start the application process. You need to click on the campus services, which will lead you to this site. And now you need to click on the student employment job search. After clicking on that, you will reach to this site. So you need to click on the search on campus jobs. And as we are the international students, so we have some restrictions. So we need to make some filters here and click on the apply advanced search. And we are only eligible to work hourly and on the part-time. So make refinement according to that. So now here you can see the different types of job like office aide, library aide, or talent acquisition assistant. But here you can see the FWS eligibility. So I would like to tell you about that. FWS stands for the Federal Work Study. It means that the part of your wage is paid by the federal government and the remaining is paid by your employer. So international students are not FWS eligible. So let me tell you about one position here. Here you can see the position office aide data entry. You can go through the job descriptions, qualification, essential duties, and everything related to that, like the salary range, where is the closing date, and where is the location, like downtown Phoenix or Tempe campus or the West campus. For this type of positions, you will need the customized resume and cover letter. Apart from that, like when you will prepare your resume and cover letter, then I would recommend it to go through all the essential duties and qualifications so that you can customize your resume according to that. And like the minimum pay at the ASU is $10.5. Secondly, I would like to cover one thing, that if the job doesn't say that the FW is eligible only in the description or the qualification, then you should apply to that job. But if the job is saying FW is eligible only, then you don't need to apply because you won't get that job. And like in this, you also need the 3 references. So if you are applying to the jobs before coming to ASU, then I would recommend you to use the references of your undergrad professors or the employer under which you worked in India. But make sure you let them know if you're using your name, because sometimes departments send an email or they call to those person to just make sure like you worked there or you studied there. And but after coming to ASU, we would recommend you to mingle with as many as people as possible, so that you can get the references. That you never know which person can recommend you in their department for the part-time job. So that's a good thing, that you should join ISA for that also. And like one more thing, you can apply to as many jobs as possible, but at the most there can be 100 applications active at a time. So I think that covered almost everything about the on-campus ASU jobs. So I hope you understood everything. Now Rajat will let you know about the Aramak jobs and the Follett jobs. Thank you and welcome to ASU.
Thank you, Varun, for such an informative session about the on-campus jobs. Beside applying through MyASU portal, you can apply for Aramark and Follett, which are third-party jobs provided and counted as on-campus jobs. So, talking about the Aramark provides dining services in which student works as a food service worker in ASU dining. Pod Market, stores such as Subway, Qdoba, and many more. To apply for it, go to the career page on aramark.com and select location as Tempe, or directly you can use the direct link which is mentioned here. And employment under Aramark is also part-time, but is not considered as ASU employment. So you won't be an ASU employee. Currently, Aramark is paying around $11 per hour to the students, but it may vary. Similarly, under Follett, student work part-time in ASU bookstore, campus store, and Sun Devil marketplace. Also, they are not considered as ASU employee, but counted as on-campus jobs because it is third-party linked to the ASU. To apply on Follett, go to the career page of follett.com or and select location as Tempe, or follow the direct link which is mentioned here. Follett is also paying around $11 per hour, but it may vary according to the job profile. I want to add, during application for Aramark and Follett, you don't need a cover letter, which is required for other on-campus jobs, which are you are going to apply through the MyASU portal. But you don't need cover letter in Follett and Aramark job applications. So your resume is sufficient enough. If you have references of someone who is working there and work there, it will be an advantage. The on-campus jobs are available around the year, so keep applying according to the eligibility criteria and your availability. That's all with respect to the on-campus jobs. If you have any queries, please feel free to post your questions in comments. Thank you, and once again, welcome to ASU. Back to Ronak.
Thank you so much, Varun and Rajat, for that awesome presentation. Like we mentioned before, these are again topics which invited a lot of questions on campus jobs, expenses in Tempe, and we tried to make it as generalized and as informative as possible for you guys. Moving on to the next topic, we are going to talk about transportation and how would you move around in Tempe. That is going to be covered by my colleague Deepan here. So over to him.
Hi guys, this is Deepan again. So let's talk about how you can get around Tempe. So let me start by sharing my screen. So yeah, the most popularly used transportation in and around Tempe is the Orbit. Orbit has 6 routes and it pretty much covers most of the places around ASU Tempe campus. It runs almost every 15 minutes during the weekdays, and it's very, very convenient, and most importantly, it's free. There are like links that will be providing on the resource document, which you can have a look later on. So apart from Orbit, there's one more free service that provided by the Tempe government. So it's called as the Flash. It goes around the apartments, most of the popular apartments, and it can take you to ASU, and it operates almost every 10 minutes on weekdays. So do make use of it. So apart from these two free services, there is Light Rail, which is provided by the Valley Metro, and it's a rail service that operates 365 days a year. And more importantly, it can take you to downtown Phoenix and Phoenix Airport. Apart from these, it also can take you to Mesa, which is a neighboring city to Tempe. So there is a UPass offered by ASU, which costs around 150 for the academic year. So the academic year is for the fall and the spring year. And if you want to use it during the summer, there's a $50 charge for it too. Apart from these passes, you can also get a day pass or a per ride ticket at the kiosk in every station in Tempe and around Tempe. So the Value Metro also offers bus services. So you can use these services to go to the neighboring cities, mainly Scottsdale and Chandler. So there are many interesting things to do in Scottsdale and around Chandler. So you will be using them for sure. So and it's a paid service. You can use the same card that you use for light rail if you purchase a day ticket. So apart from this, there's something called Tempe streetcar that's coming up. Do watch out for it. And also, ASU provides shuttle services to go to other campuses. So other campuses include the West, Polytechnic, and the downtown Phoenix. So and the most popularly used the shuttle is the Polytech is between Polytechnic and Tempe, and Poly students can use that to go to Poly. And these schedules are available on the ASU websites. And apart from this, you can have live updates from the Twitter feed, where we have provided a link for that. So there's Uber and Lyft services that you can use to go around, and it's very convenient. You can use it at any time, and it's available 24 hours. There are few offers for new joinees, so do make use of it. And there are few fun ways to go around Tempe, and you can use the e-scooters that lie around almost everywhere around Tempe. So there, to name a few of them, there's Lime, Razor, and Zap. So do check them out. Few of them require a license, but it's cool. You can definitely try once in a while. So you'll be hearing few popular junctions around Tempe. So just to name a few, there is Tempe Transportation Center on the East 5th Street, and there's light rail station on the Rural and Terrace. So by Rural and Terrace, I mean there's a cross street system here. So Rural is a road and Terrace is a road, and the intersection of this is called Rural and Terrace. So you'll need to know all these terms here, and you'll get to get used to it soon. And of course, get a bike. That's how you go around Tempe. So that's all for the transportation in Tempe. So have fun, be here, go Devils.
Thank you so much, Deepan. So, transportation is yet another very important thing that you guys need to be very aware of. Uh, now, we'll move to a very fun topic presented by our featured alumnus, Akshay. It's about life at Arizona. So, after him.
Thank you so much, Ranak. Hey guys, I'll be explaining you guys about life in Arizona. And I'll be talking about the most important thing that you guys are waiting for. Yeah, it's not about academics. It's about leisure. It's about how you can have fun in Arizona. So let me share you my small presentation here. So I hope you can see it now. Okay. So as I said, I'll be talking about the life in Arizona. So you guys don't need tips about how to study and stuff, because you already know that. That's why you are in the number one university in the US for innovation. So you guys are awesome. You guys are brilliant. That's why you're in here. So you know how to manage your time. You know how to study. All those are good. But Arizona State University have a reputation of party school in the US. So yeah, ASU was once a party school of the US, but sadly not anymore. But maybe because of us too, because once we are got into studies, we almost forget about having fun in our lives. So it is important for us to find some time to have some fun, to get our heads outside the world, roam around, see the Tempe, see Arizona. So I'm going to talk about what are things that you can do around Arizona and Tempe, especially. Master is going to be tough. It's going to demand a lot of your time and effort. But if you manage your time effectively, you can have a lot of time to have fun. So you'll have only like 2 to 3 days of in a week for classes. So the rest of the days you are completely free to do whatever things you want. So be we all go for parties at weekends. So Friday and Saturday nights we go partying. So in Tempe there are lots of pubs, lot of clubs that you can go for. Booze and partying, dancing, all kind of stuff, all kind of leisuring stuff. You can go for hike. Tempe is a valley. It's surrounded by mountains. So there are a lot of mountains here that you can go for a simple hike. Even ASU have its own mountain. It's called A Mountain. Even if you don't have enough time, you can just go for 1 hour hike to A Mountain to see the whole city. The whole Tempe can be seen from A Mountain. So you should definitely check that out. And always, keep in mind, have a proper timetable for how you're going to spend each of your week. That's very important here. Then just a few precautions before you start your life at Arizona. People here are very friendly. So they will always smile at you. They will always nod their head at you. They will always open to have a small talk with you, even strangers on the street, or even your drivers on your Uber or Lyft. Wherever you go, people are so friendly. They will initiate talk. So don't shy away. Just talk back to them. I mean, that's how you build relationships here. And when you're talking, it's very important that you avoid politics or religious or immigration matters that could essentially lead up to debates. So you can avoid sensitive topics like that. Then US is a very big country and it has very less coverage when it comes to cell coverage. So even it doesn't matter even if you have a huge carrier like AT&T or T-Mobile, there are places at the outskirts of Tempe and Phoenix there where there is no coverage at all. So be very careful. Always have a map with you. The best option is have offline maps like Google Maps. Download it on your phone and keep it with you whenever you're going to places you don't know. And the next point is stay away from criminal offenses. It's not a, it's not a, it is just it is no brainer. You have to always stay out of criminal offenses. But there are some things that we think that okay, these are petty offenses, but there is not. There are for example, if you are committing a mail fraud or going over the speed limit by more than 20 miles per hour than the specified speed limit, those are considered serious criminal and federal offenses. Though those are big enough to kick you out of the country itself. So always be careful if you are on a foreign country. Don't take the law for granted. Be always obey the law and don't commit to any crimes. And under any emergency, always be ready to call 911. They are there to help you. It is not a big deal. You can call even if it is whenever you feel it is an emergency. Don't hesitate to call 911. And when you are under attack, so for example, there have been incidents in here where people were robbed under gunpoint. So don't be scared by that. It's just once in 1,000 or something. But even if something like that happens to you, don't try to negotiate with the criminal. Whenever you're under attack like that, just do whatever they say. Don't try to be a hero unless you can catch a bullet. And what can you do in Tempe or how to spend time? So first of all, make your timetable, and whenever you get time, it's easy to go around and visit places. Besides, it's a foreign country. It's a huge country. There are lots of places to visit, a lot of things to see. You should explore it. So one big way is to do that is that you can rent a car, and renting cars are very easy here. You can rent a car using your Indian license itself. And I would suggest you should go for taking state IDs. So taking state IDs is easier here. You can just go to a DMV and get a state ID by just for $10, or take a learner's permit. So learner's permit is also an easy test. You can just do it an online test, and you can get a learner's permit. And it also costs very less, like $10 or so. And you will get that can be used as a state ID, and you can use that for going to bar or pubs and stuff. And what else that you can do in Tempe? Just like I said, there are lots of mountains here. You can go for a hike. There are lakes. You can go for boating. And zoos are here. The zoo is here. I mean, lots of stuff you can do here. And also famous destinations like Sedona, Flagstaff, and the most of all, the Grand Canyon. That's a natural wonder. You should definitely check that out. So that's all I'm saying. If you're here, and if you can find time behind your busy schedule, you should definitely check out what Arizona has to offer, because Arizona is beautiful. It's not just a desert. If you just go 2 hours up north, you can see snow all year along. So yeah, roam around. There's a life outside the university, and don't forget, have fun. Don't fall into a burnout with all the work and assignments and projects that you have to do. So yeah, have fun, and we are excited to welcome you all here. Back to Ronak.
Thank you so much, Akshay. That was a wonderful presentation. Moving on to the next topic, we are coming towards the end of the presentations. These are going to focus on something that is probably a favorite amongst a lot of you. We are going to start talking about career uh, and everything related to it. To start that off, we are going to have Shenbach talk about teaching assistantships and research assistantships at ASU and everything around them. So after him.
Thank you, Ronak. So yeah, give me just a second. I'll just pull up the screen. Yep. So I'm going to be talking in brief about TA-RA-ship at ASU. So to start off with, what does a teaching assistant or a research assistant mean? So what are their duties and stuff like that? So to start with, their primary roles are to, like for a TA, is to lecture and lead discussions, serve as a lab assistant in laboratories, host office hours, and tutor students. Sometimes grade tests and correct assignments as well. So proctor examinations, and at occasions create syllabus material and other educational material required as instructed by the professor. But the main differences here is the TA is provided by the department and it's not provided by the professor. It's not paid by the professor, it's paid by the department. However, professor's recommendation is is required. So, however, in case of a research assistant, they usually assist faculty members in research. Again, if requested by the professor, you might be needed to develop educational material if required. So, but RAs are provided by the professor themselves, and it's provided from their own funding. So it's not provided by the department. So how do you get a TI or an RA, or how do you apply for it? So the first step will be obviously to approach a professor who's working in your area of interest. That's very important. Approach the professor and join the laboratory as a volunteer researcher or something like that, and then talk to them eventually about a TA or RA position. So yeah, so TA, though offered by the department, faculty recommendation is required. So if the faculty recommends, then there is a high chance that you're going to get the TA-ship. But without a recommendation, getting a TA is almost impossible. So yeah, so the main thing is maintain good rapport with the professor, and yeah, one more thing is maintain good academic standing. So here we have mentioned at least 3 GPA. In some departments is 3.25. These are like the minimum requirements, but what I mean by good academic standing is at least a 3.5 GPA and A or an A plus in the subject of the professor you work with. So moving on, you should at least have 26 on IBT. So this is like 26 on your TOEFL speaking section. So if you don't have that, you can still opt for a speak test that is hosted by Global Launch website. Global Launch here at ASU, it's almost around $70. So you need a minimum of 50 to 55, depends on your department. So you can check Global Launch website for more details. And yeah, you must be registered as a full-time student. And if you're under TI or an RA, you get to choose, like you have to take at least 6 credit hours. You don't really have to do up to 9 hours. So what are the benefits and what's the workload of a TA and an RA? So for like initially there are like 2 classes. So one will be a full-time TA or an RA. So full-time TA or an RA gets a maximum of 0.5 FTE during fall or spring. So what this means is it's like half part-time and full-time employment during your fall and spring, and a maximum 1.1 FTE during summer and winter break. So it also includes full tuition fee waiver. That's pretty good. And yeah, it also covers your medical insurance as well. So it also includes a really grand stipend of 1,500 to 2,300 USD. It usually varies from department to department and professor as well. And if it is a part-time RA, it is usually up to 10 hours, and it is from 0.25 to 0.49 FTE during fall and spring semesters. So this is what usually master students get, and so includes 50% tuition fee waiver, and it does not cover medical insurance. So, but it comes with a stipend of 700 to 1,100 USD. Again, it depends from professor to professor and the department as well. So to finish it off with, to know more about TARA, you can always refer the TARA handbook. It's available. You can just Google TARA handbook ASU, and yeah, the link is also there in the presentation. So yeah, just before I complete the presentation, I would like to share one important thing, that is getting a TA or an RA is like 1 in 100. One person gets in 100, so it's not easy to get. So once you come in, don't expect a TR and RA. It's going to take a while. Approach your professors, make sure you have a good rapport with your professors, talk to them. That's very important. Networking is very important here in US. Make sure you have a good rapport, and yeah, more important, don't lose hope. And apart from that, one more thing, PhDs do get preference, and PhDs, and then goes a master's thesis. So this is the order of preference. And however, non-thesis, they don't usually get a TR and RA position. However, in some departments like say MCS or something, they're not even eligible for it. So make sure your department, make sure your thesis or a PhD student to apply for a PhD. So yeah, that's for all of it. And if you have any more questions, you can always send us a mail at official@ISA-ASU.com. So yeah, that's all. Thank you. Off to you, Ronak.
Thank you so much, Shenbach, for that wonderful presentation. Moving on to the next topic, we are going to talk about an extremely important resource that we feel you should make use of at ASU. Bharat will be covering career services at ASU, so off to him.
Hey everyone, how are you doing? And I feel that you are not like slept till now. And I hope that you are learning a lot of things from this presentation. Well, when I came to USA, someone told me that you starting looking for a job as soon as you land on the US soil, and it's pretty much true. But you will be like happy to know that ASU has a great foundation for the career services. Like ASU has career center all the campuses of ASU. There's career services for all the ASU, but also specialized career centers for Fulton schools of engineering students and as well as WPCAD business students. Other than that, what you can see is like there is a lot of professional staff and also a student staff which are like trained professionally to help you out with all your career related queries. I myself is a graduate peer coach at ASU Fulton Engineering Career Center. So I'll walk you through some of the resources at ASU. So if you go on ASU, you might have heard of Handshake by now. So Handshake looks like this. Once you are into Handshake, I will cover how to go into Handshake later. So Handshake is a ASU portal where you can just get a lot of ASU career related services. And other than that, it's also a job finding platform just like LinkedIn. So you can find a lot of jobs and internships from the employees which are particularly interested in ASU students. So it's a great resource. Definitely go and make a Handshake account. So if you go in Handshake account and see at the career center, there will be appointments, and in appointments, you can schedule appointment, in-person appointment for a lot of things. So if let's say if you're Fulton Schools of Engineering career student, you can have a lot of appointments like resume review, job offer, salary negotiation, coding, non-coding interviews, finding job internships, or maybe even if you want to look into changing your major. Other than that, if you go to resources, there is one really great resource which is called Optimal Resume for Fulton Schools of Engineering students, where you can just upload your resume online and get your resume reviewed by one of the professionals. And it's totally out right now. So even if you are in India, you can just go into make your Handshake account, go into Optimal Resume and get your resume reviewed beforehand for the on-campus jobs or of any of the internships you're applying before coming to ASU. So that's like the first thing you can do, and it's not only ends here. Other than that, I like to tell you about career fairs. So career fairs at ASU are conducted every semester in the fall and spring. So there's ASU-wide career fair as well as Fulton Engineering Career Fair. So if you can see that these are the website for career.engineering.asu.edu, which is Fulton Schools of Engineering Career Center. And if you go to career.asu.edu, you can just apply for these. Like you can find all the information related to all the career fairs and all, or for the ASU-wide career fairs. Also, if you are going for a fall semester career fair, there will be a lot of resources, for finding internships and as well as full-time jobs, while the spring career fair mostly focuses on internships around the summer. Other than that, what you can do is you can go to a lot of seminars and workshops which are conducted prior to career fair. One of the greatest seminar is like having the rapid resume reviews, which are conducted each semester. In this, the people from companies like Amazon and Intel, those professionals who hire you directly, just come to ASU campus and review your resume and give you career fair tips. This year, if you're coming in fall semester, the career fair will be on 17, 18, and 19 September if you are an engineering student. And this is all I have to tell you. Like definitely start applying and start making a handshake account. You can just go to website and just start making handshake account from here, or you can just go to Fulton website and find a lot of information on handshake login or in the student section. And that's the start of your career already. So please come in, and I wish you all the best. I hope we can meet sometime. And off to Ronak. Thank you.
Thank you, Bharat, for that wonderful session. That was a great presentation, and I agree. Like, I think all of us here agree that career services are one of the most important resources that you need to make use of at ASU. Moving on to the next topic, we have yet another featured alumnus of ours, Venkata Akhil, who will be talking about internships and job hunts. Akshay, Akhil, and among several others who aren't here with us today, unfortunately, were pillars to bringing ISA to where it is today. And I'm not going to take more of his screen time, and I'm going to hand it over to him.
Hello everyone. Hope we did not bore you enough. You guys are damn excited. I could say it with your questions that you're posting on the live session. So with that, what I would say is the thing, who doesn't want a job or who doesn't want an intern? I think nobody says a no for this. At the end, every one of you coming here are at least looking for a job, at least during your OPT period before you go back, if you're planning to go back home. With that being said, I'm not saying getting a job or an intern is difficult here in US, having just graduated from ASU with my degree in software engineering, master's degree in software engineering. So I would say the jobs are much more competitive, but it's not difficult. Having said that, and being competitive, what I would say is if you start applying it at the earliest, that would actually make you come out of a huge competition. So start applying earlier, that is a key. And then make sure, as my friend Bharat has mentioned, make sure that you utilize the resources of the Career Professional Development Services. They are really awesome, guys. And then it is all free. You can get your resume reviewed as many times as you want free. And then you can go check for jobs and apply it online that are specific to ASU. And then you are eliminating much more bigger crowd outside if you're applying it outside. Handshake is just for ASU, as in Handshake ASU portal is just for ASU students. With that being said, as I'm talking about the differences that you see between the way you apply for jobs in India and the way you apply for jobs here, the thing that happens is in India, the company or whichever company that is interested to comes in while you're in your bachelor studies during your final year. They do interviews on campus, everything on campus. They make a hiring call on campus and goes back. But back here in US, that's not the thing, guys. Most of the times, at least for a full-time job, you'll have to go for an on-site interview with the company. And the other thing I would say is, if you can start applying earlier, that would eliminate all the queue that you wanted. And then the other major difference that you see is when you're applying, at least through your campus back in India, it's a two-page resume out there. But here, once you come here, it's a single page, one-side resume. So whatever you're doing or whatever you're writing, it's a single page, one-side resume that is followed. It is just not restricted to the on-campus jobs. It's also with internships and also the full-time jobs. And as our advisor Drew was mentioning at the start, make sure you prepare cover letters and resumes specific to that job and including the skill set that is required. So if you're following all these steps, I think you're going to get a good job at the end of your master's or your bachelor's. So good luck, guys. Stay around, and then ASU is a great campus, and then I loved it. I'm really happy being a graduate out of ASU and hope you would be as well. There are a lot more resources, and an ISA would be more than helpful to you guys as well. Thank you, and welcome to ASU.
Thank you so much, Akhil. That was a great talk. Now we're almost done with our panel presentations. We have our final one coming up, where Simran will be talking about our sponsors. So off to him.
Hi everyone, this is Simran Singh again, and I'll be talking about the sponsors. So first of all, I would like to thank all our sponsors who have supported us throughout our journey. So we have 1255 and Thrive as our exclusive housing partners. Both of these apartment complexes are pretty affordable, and we would definitely recommend checking their respective websites for their availability. Uh, we have Prodigy Finance as our banking partner. They offer loan at competitive rate of interest and also provide an option of refinancing your loan. Next up is our food partner. It is Hungry Howie's. They have flavorful pizzas at reasonable rates. Do check them out when you are here at ASU. Uh, and last partner is our local partner. It is Lotus International Market. They have all kinds of Indian groceries, Indian snacks, and food such as rice, dal, puri, etc. And I believe that's it from my side. I look forward to having you guys here, and over to Ronak.
Thank you so much, Simran. That brings us to the end of our panel presentations. We have seen you guys be super active in the comment section. We've tried our best to accommodate as many questions as we could. Like I mentioned before, we have left some time towards the end to address a few important questions that we think needs to be addressed. Need to be addressed. So we'll start off the live Q&A session with the first question that we're going to address, and Bharat will be answering it. So after him.
Hey guys, I'm back and I am here to answer some of your questions. So first question I'm seeing is about the weather and what clothes you should get. So it's a desert area. It gets too hot and it gets too cold in the winters. So definitely carry your t-shirts, carry your boxers, carry your shorts for the summers, but also carry some of the sweatshirts, some of the jackets, and some of the lowers for the winters because it gets too cold and too hot. So it's kind of extreme weather on both sides. And definitely pack both of them. And if you're getting a suit for professional events, if you're getting a suit for professional event, I will definitely want you to tell that don't pack the winter coat, don't pack those blazers which are like for the winters. Pack something which is summer friendly, because when you go into career fairs and wear your professional clothes, it's gonna be like too hot, or you might even get dizzy with all the sweat and with all the people around. So definitely look for that. Other question is about the confusion for applying for on-campus jobs for all the FWS eligible. So I like to share my screen. to give you the right idea. So let's say if a on-campus job says nothing, then you can totally apply to this job. You can go for this job and go and apply. It's totally fine for you to apply. If it says FWS eligible, so FWS eligible for, again, stands for federal work study. Half of the job is paid by the federal government and half of it is paid by the university itself. So FWS eligible, again, is totally fine to apply. It's also for you as well as for the FWS students. So totally feel free to apply for these kind of jobs. If it calls FWS eligible only, or let's say FWS only, do not apply for that job because you won't get it. It's only for the FWS students. So these are answers to two of the top questions. And off to Ronak.
Thank you, Bharat. So we'll be answering the live questions one by one. The next question is going to be addressed by Shrikar. So after him.
Hello, guys. So the top questions that have been asked in my area of interest are how much money to carry when they're coming here. So I would say carry a maximum of around a couple of $100 in cash, let's say 200, and maybe around $1,000 to $1,200 in your Forex card or international travel card. That depends on what you plan on doing. If you have, or if you already have a lease signed and everything set up, you don't need to carry much more. But if you want to, if you are interested in coming here and looking for an apartment, if you feel like you might have expenses like buying stuff right after arriving here, you might want to carry more. It depends on your personal plans, like after reaching here. The second question that was mainly focused towards my area was, give me 1 second. Sorry. How much money to carry? Okay. The second question was about mobile networks and what their prices and family plans. So Verizon would regularly cost you around $25 to $30 per person in a family plan. It has pretty good signal all across the US. It is worth it if you plan on spending that much per month on your mobile network. And again, T-Mobile, AT&T, Sprint, Boost, Metro T-Mobile, all these mobile networks would cost you around $25 and upwards for, let's say, unlimited calling across the US and unlimited texting. But the internet package varies. You will have to look into those, and depending on the plans of those mobile networks, and depending on how many people you got into your family plan, the price may vary per person individually. And please, I can't stress this enough, definitely go get some family plans when you're getting mobile networks to reduce your prices that you'd pay monthly. And I'm not sure I have got another question. Yeah, that was all from my side.
Thank you, Shrikar, for that. For the next question, we're gonna have Ganga Ramesh address it after her.
Hey guys, so the first question I'm going to be answering is about the Google form for temporary accommodation and pickups. It will be available on all of ISA's official social media platforms, and it is also available on ISA's website. So go to isa-asu.org and click on prospective students and go to pick up where you can, under step 4, you can find this Google form. You can fill it out right away, right now also. The second question is about the renter's insurance. So from personal experience, we were asked to take a renter's insurance before we came to US because our lease was lease began before we came to the US. So we took our renter's insurance from State Farm. It costed about $140 per year for the 4 of us. So each plan varies, and you can just Google it and find out what works best for you. It is a necessity for most apartment complexes if you want to lease an apartment. So the last question I'm going to be addressing is about Forex. Again, from personal experience, I got a Forex from Punjab National Bank, and I came here the first day. I actually opened a bank account. It took me 20 minutes to open a bank account, and I transferred my money from Forex to the US. Sorry, I transfer the money from my Forex to the US bank account. You can do that also, or you can bring cash with you and do it. Forex, again, each Forex offer varies from bank to bank, and according to your loan, you can choose what's best for you. It's really not that difficult. Now I'm going to pass it on over to Ron.
So thank you, Ganga, for that. For the next live question, we would have Shenbag talk about it. So after him.
Yeah, thank you, Ronak. So yeah, the first question will be, what is the eligibility criteria for a TA and RA, as I discussed in my presentation. So yeah, it's very important you maintain a good rapport with your professor. So talk to your professor. That's very important for both cases. And yeah, have a good academic standing and a minimum 26 on your TOEFL. So that's like a minimum eligibility criteria. So for the next question, so are software engineers eligible for a TA or an RA? Yes, they are eligible for a TR and RA position. But the thing is, software engineers, there are a lot of students, particularly Indian students. So it's highly competitive. So getting one is going to be a really tough job. So yeah, apart from that, yeah, but yeah, you are eligible for a TR and RA position in software engineering as well. But departments like MCS, you're not eligible. So yeah, make sure you check it before that. So does having a good score in GRE help in getting scholarships or a TR and RA? So the GRE is just like an eligibility criteria that helps you get an admission. Apart from that, GRE is not going to do any help after you come to the US. So it's not going to help you with getting scholarships or any RA or a TA. It's just going to be your performance after you come to the US. So what is the correct way to approach a professor? So the main thing is send a mail to the professor asking them for an appointment, or send your resume or a cover letter, and tell what you are interested in, why do you want to work under him, and what motivated you, something like that. And more importantly, what you bring to the table, not just saying, I want to learn this from you, I want to learn that from you. Tell what you will bring to that, what skill set will help him or her in their research. So that's something we usually lack in our cover letters or resumes. So make sure you add that to the mail, and make sure you have a very good catchy subject as well. So don't just say applying for RA position or something like that. So make sure you have like a very catchy subject, so that the professors get around 400 to 500 mails a day. So it's really difficult for them to go through every single mail. So the subject line is one of the very important thing that catches their eye right away. So make sure you have a very good subject. And one more thing, after you come to the US, go talk to the professor if possible. Try to book an appointment, and get an appointment and talk to them. Usually professors don't reply to these mails. Send a mail, send a reminder mail, and find out their office hours, and go talk to them directly and tell them that you have already sent a mail. So that's a way to approach the professor, and that's one of the way to get TR and RA position. So yeah, I think that's all the questions that I have. Yeah, off to you, Ronak.
Thank you, Shanbag. For the next live question, we'll have Varun addressing it. So, off to him.
Thank you, Ronak. I just got like 2-3 questions regarding the on-campus job. Like, first is when to start applying for the jobs. I would recommend you to start applying like 15 days or a month before you come to the USA, so that your application can get reviewed with time and you can get any interview or any shortlisting as you arrive here. But like there are a lot of chances of getting on-campus job when after you arrive here, because like you will get the contacts and you will be able to find the references. Secondly, like I got a question about the where the jobs are posted. So you can go through the presentation and like you can see the 3 links for the 3 different kinds of jobs, and all the kinds of jobs are posted there, like grader, office aides, office assistant, and so on. And thirdly, like other than technical, what jobs are available. So like technical jobs are like RATA or the grader, but other than those, jobs are available like office aides, office assistants, web designer, graphic designer, a student verifier, or tutor, or anything. Like you can definitely search for those jobs and apply to those jobs. So these are the technical questions I got. Thank you, and off to Ronak.
Thank you, Varun. For the next question, we had a question with specific to Poly and which housing community would be good for Poly students. So I'm going to hand it off to Akhil to answer this, as he's a Poly student himself. He was a Poly student himself. Off to him.
Hey guys, so as I've already told you, I've been a poly student for the past couple of years. I just graduated with my master's in software engineering. So that being said, most of the poly students stay at Tempe and then commute back to poly, like we covered in our presentations before. What we do is ASU provides a free shuttle to all the campuses. ASU has 4 campuses, so ASU provides a free shuttle to all the campuses. The shuttle is equipped with good Wi-Fi, and also AC, and then you can relax, do your work, sleep, go back to the other campus. Poly campus is around a 40 minutes drive, so you can relax, go back, and come back. That's all what I can say. But there are also communities that are around Poly campus, which are not very near, which not most of the, at least not most of the age. Thank you, Ronak. So that helps.
So, we've tried to address most of the live questions here to the best of our capacity. And please understand that we are also humans. We might miss out on a few questions that may seem very important to you. If that is the case, we are really sorry about it. And I would really request you to post out a question to our email, official@ISA-ASU.com, or any of our social media links, like I mentioned, that will be put up in the description of the video below. There were a few questions asking about generic details or sometimes specific details that might take a little bit longer to explain and which we feel might not be the most effective usage of this session. One of the questions was about prerequisites of a particular thing, of a particular stream. I think it was software engineering. I would request questions like these to be posted to our email, so that the information that we give you will actually have links, text, and whatnot, so that it makes it very easy for you to go through it. So I think we've reached the end of this session today. I think we've covered a bunch of topics which might have taken a little too long. We're sorry about that, but I hope it was really useful to you guys. At the end of the day, we wanted the transition process for you guys to be as smooth as possible. Hoping that we have done exactly that. Here's to ISA signing off from this session. Thank you so much for joining in. Go Devils.